which teams do you think had the best defensive drafts?
Well, I think we talked about it on the draft that you begin right at the beginning with Bradley Chubb. When you can add someone like that in Denver, opposite of Von Miller. Remember, Shane Ray was their #1 pick in 2015. That is an outside presence that Denver's going to have that's going to rival what they did in their Super Bowl year. So that could change the price of poker in the AFC West. Just with that outside presence, he could have a huge year as you have to continue to double Von Miller. And then the other team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What they did with Vita Vea, I thought it was a brilliant pick. You build great defenses from the inside out. So you need to take a big presence like Vita Vea. Reminds me a great deal of Haloti Ngata. You put him next to Gerald McCoy, and then keep in mind what they did in free agency when they added Jason Pierre-Paul, Vinny Curry, excuse me. This is pretty darn good. And then, of course, the other picks on the draft were on the back end in the secondary at cornerback and safety. So they've recrafted this defense to keep up with those great offenses in the NFC South.
And, Coach, they needed to. I mean, that Bucs defense last year, it was hard to watch. They were last in so many different categories. So we'll see how much it improves them this year. Coach, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Now let's send it over to DJ for most improved offenses.
All right, you guys took care of the defense over there. Let's talk some offense over here. Bucky, why don't you start us off? Most improved offense now that we're through the draft.
Atlanta just paid a big check to Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan has some weapons at his disposal. Number one is going to be Calvin Ridley. Bringing Calvin Ridley over to be the #3 wide receiver is really going to open up this offense. When you have a Julio Jones and a Mohamed Sanu that really can occupy the top 1 and 2 spots in the passing game, you now have Calvin Ridley playing against a nickel. I'm going to take that matchup all day. You paid Matt Ryan $30 million annually. You have to surround him with weapons. He has weapons galore now in Atlanta.
Yeah, when you look at this being a matchup league, man, they've got favorable matchups all over the field now. You get Freeman out of the backfield as well. That offense is going to be pretty deadly. I'm going to go, though, the Giants. I mean, when you look at where they were last year, especially with Odell Beckham being hurt, now you get him back healthy and you bring in a Saquon Barkley and his skill set, not only be able to run the ball between the tackles, but to really get involved in the passing game, allow you to be creative. You can put him in the slot. You can even split him out wide. He's a big-time mismatch player, and then he's going to get a chance to run behind Will Hernandez, who, behind Quentin Nelson, was the best run blocker in this entire draft class. I thought that was a steal to get him in the second round. This offense now is better up front. You get Solder at tackle. You get Will Hernandez. You get a big-time back. And then you get Odell Beckham back healthy. This is going to look like a totally different team next year.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. You know, they were 31st in the league last year in yards per play offensively. Obviously,
yeah, that's not good.
There's only one word. And a lot of the talk, obviously, has been about Lamar Jackson. But what I think they did is a great job of supporting Joe Flacco. They went out and they drafted 2 tight ends, Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews, 2 guys that can support him offensively, not just in the run game, in the pass game. And they went and got 2 receivers and 2 offensive tackles. Obviously, they had a lot of picks, and I think they utilized them right. So while all the tension has been on Lamar Jackson and what he can add to this offense, really, they did a tremendous job, in addition to Lamar Jackson, of building something that can improve quickly.
Yeah, this was a throwback draft for Ozzie Newsome. Dennis Pitta and Ed Dixon, they've done the 2 tight ends in the same draft thing before. It worked quite well.